Welcome to Sampstra Games, the place to find new strategy games, and welcome to my guide on how to complete all the objectives in Unity of Command 2. Now we're going to start this off with the Dragoon mission, but before we do that, let me just quickly show you my HQs so you can see what I did in the conference. I have very low prestige now because I used essentially all of my points to upgrade my HQ. So the British one, I went up to Salt River Crossing. US first, I have the motor pool ability, US third, Assault River Crossing, Canadian first, Assault River Crossing, Army B, Assault River Crossing, and set piece attack, US 7th, this, British 8, like that, US 5th, like this. Let's do the Dragoon. Welcome to the tactics window of Dragoon. Now this is a very interesting mission because first of all, even though on the first turn you have units that are en route, you actually won't be able to place them because you don't control the areas that you need to control. Because it's only allowing you to place them like here, and you're either going to have your own units there or you just don't control that area. So don't be scared, that's perfectly alright. Now you're going to have a very few units in this scenario, which is also alright, don't be afraid. Now the most difficult thing in this map is Grenoble, because you need to get it by turn 5, it's over here, and it's pretty far away since we're going to be starting in this general area. So you're going to need to really hurry through there. So you want to take a tank, you're going to get a tank with this en route units eventually, and you're going to hurry through this as fast as possible to get to Grenoble in time. Now as for the other objectives, the way that we're going to do it, we're going to start this off by taking this plane and placing it on Marseille. So we're going to get Marseille on turn 1. When it comes to Toulon, you don't actually need to fight them. Instead, you want to unsupply them. So you want to have your units kind of around. So you break off the supply of Toulon, and then you can take it over when they have no steps left. So you should take this around turn 2 or 3. Then you're going to be hurrying towards Grenoble so you can get it on turn 5. And follow the tank with some infantry so that can take gap. So on turn 5 you should have Grenoble, Toulon, Marseille, gap. With the rest of your unit you want to be moving up here towards Avignon, which you can get around turn 5 or 6. And then you're going to be focusing downwards towards Nimes. Now there is an interesting objective here that we haven't seen before, which is actually destroy a specific unit. There's going to be a tank somewhere near Lyon. And that's this PSD tank that you need to destroy. Now, notice that there is no time limit on destroying the unit. So you need to focus on all the timed objectives first. And then once you have all of them, you can just keep going until you kill out that tank. After Grenoble, then you want to move the same tank to over here to get Lyon. Now, what's important here is that since you're going to be hurrying towards Grenoble, you won't really control this railway yet. So you won't have many ways to supply yourself over in this direction. You can only place your supply up over here. So make sure that you place your HQ close enough so that you can use emergency supplies. Another good tip for this particular map is the enemy is fairly weak. So oftentimes if you stand before some sort of objective, the enemy actually abandons the objective. You haven't seen this behavior yet. Essentially, up until now, every time you moved close to an objective, the enemy went at you like crazy. Well, this is kind of a different strategy where if you get close enough, the enemy tends to often just like move out. So if you have enough turns, it can often be a good idea to just like stand and see if they move away. Alright, so let's begin. Welcome back from the tactics window. We'll start this off with naval bombardment on the Marseille and this thing over here. Then we're going to place a unit over there, and a unit over here, and one over there. And once that's ready, we're going to take our plane and we're going to power drop over here. Now I'm going to place the Army B HQ there. Even though it's not the right for the unit, it's because a lot of these other US units are down here, so we'd rather place the US HQ here upon the next turn though, because we need to own this place in order to do it, and we don't own it. And even though we're overrun, we can't actually move because the AP is locked. So we're going to be staying in position, and that's all we do this turn. Even though we have en route HQs, there's not much else I can do, so we just stop. And the people in Lyon, they start being unsupplied, so you don't actually need to fight them off. You just need to kind of get out, so to speak. Let's move to here, attack these guys. Great. Then we're going to start moving upwards in that direction. I want to place my US HQ, and then I'm going to start placing one of these units. So we'll move with the tank over there. You want to try to... So the way destroying, rebuilding bridges works is that you need to have a unit on one side of the bridge that you want to rebuild, or it needs to be completely in your area of control. So I could rebuild this bridge right now, but this bridge I can only rebuild if my tank is right there. So that's why you want to move towards that position as quickly as possible. Now you're going to ignore the people in Lyon. We're going to move with these guys close in that direction. And we're going to attack one of these. Let's start this off with these guys, for example. And we're going to move with these guys like so. Trying to take control of this oral area so you can start placing some new units. Like this tank. We'll go that way. Then this will move, I don't know, in that general direction. And this is all being placed on the position. Actually, this goes here, so let's move it that way. You move right next to them so you can keep blocking them. And we're going to place a new unit to here, and that's going to go, let's say, this way. Now, we could use feint attack, but we're not going to. Instead, let's use airstrike on, for example, these guys. Now, next, we want to use our US HQ where we have the mortar pull ability and use it on whoever we can, which is this unit. And then we want to move that unit. Wow, that unit can move really badly. We'll move this way, I guess. And we could build, because we can't use the mortar ability anymore, we could build ourselves a bridge here to make it a bit easier to pass. Also, I'm going to build a bridge here so that if the enemy chooses to break this one, I can still use the thing and move through there, because, like I said in the tactics window, this is a race for Grenoble. Everything else is also slightly for Lyon, but everything else is achievable. Grenoble is really, really hard to get, not necessarily because there's like resistance there, but simply because it's just really hard to get there in time. You don't have much time. So that's why I kind of highly recommend that you start off with that. Now, any bridges we can rebuild or build? Nothing we can do over here. It's fine. Okay. So then what we want to do is, we could, we're not going to do this, is we need to place our supply up. So let me show you the enemy supply. So they're quite unsupplied everywhere. Sorry, my mouse is messing up. Everywhere except for this main railway, as you can see over here. If I click on myself, I am not very well supplied, so we should fix that. We're going to place a supply hub there. Go with 3. We're going to need this supply hub anyway, so we can place it there. And we're going to have one right under this unit here. All good. End our turn. And run towards Grenoble. Or however you read that, I don't actually know. Okay, so they destroyed the bridge I was building, but they didn't destroy the other one. And that's, it doesn't matter which one they destroy. They're going to completely ignore Gap with this tank. Don't care. Because if you spend your time going to Gap, it's going to be harder to get to Grenoble. So you just don't care. Straight up running for the Grenoble. Gap is for later. So then we're going to focus over here. We need to start moving towards Avignon. Now you can keep moving in that direction. You're going to go like that. You keep moving away and you keep moving away as well. Now this tank can then follow up in, let's say, this direction. Good. Also, we could resupply it, because why not? And you move towards there so we can go towards Gap in time. Then we're going to check our US HQ for mortar pull ability. We'll put it to here. Actually, we'll put it to them both. To all of them, because why not? You move towards there. You move... You could move a step back. You could move 2 steps there. You move towards Gap. And you could make new bridges. So we'll add a bridge here for these guys. And that's it. Now we should also at this point start moving our HQs forward. So we'll move the US one over there and the French one this way. And we'll use our airstrike on, doesn't really matter, on these guys. And I think we're gonna go from the other direction so we can get closer to Avignon, which we're gonna need on turn 6. Okay, now we got 2 more turns for Grenoble, 2 more turns for Gap. That's the most important part. They keep destroying different bridges to make it difficult for you to move, which is understandable because they know you're gonna hurt them. Now the funny thing about this scenario is you really don't get any more units than what you got right now, which I think is kind of funny because everything until now was like we had a huge amount of units. It was just like crazy. We just do whatever we wanted. Now it's like, you don't have much. We'll deal with that soon. Let's start here towards Grenoble. 30% retreat. Let's start with an airstrike. Didn't do anything. Okay, we'll do this. Anyways. They stay, but next time we can kill them off. You are going to move towards Gap. You move. You move this way and use set piece attack, sure. We'll move this way. Kill them off. And then we'll move with these guys kind of, I don't know, like so. I want to start controlling the railway a little bit as well, but yeah, the main focus are the other. You move towards Toulon and we'll start off killing off these guys. We'll take Toulon now. Very good. Now, yes, you need resupplying, that's alright. Any more bridges we need somewhere? I don't think so. I mean, it's always a good idea to build a bridge somewhere, but yeah, it doesn't seem like we need any. I guess I'll place it there just for fun, but we don't need it. Now here, as usual, we want to try to use the mortar pool, but there's nowhere to use it on. Nobody needs resupplying. Bridges. We could put a bridge there. And we'll move it even closer. And this one can stay. And we want to check our supplies. So we could place a supply hub, let's say, here. And we're going to remove the supply hubs that we have. So we could destroy this one. And also this one. So we can add the supply hubs to this later. Alright, one more turn for Grenoble and Gap. Yeah, they do tend to kind of move away, which is pretty nice of them because they don't really have much strength. So you don't actually need to fight that much on this particular scenario. So we need to take Grenoble now. Fantastic. And then we're going to move towards Lyon. Okay, we'll fight that up later. Here we want to grab Gap. And then we're going to take, let's take more command points. And we'll move back towards the US HQ. Now here we want to take Avignon and keep moving closer. We'll move towards the bridge. They're kind of out of range. Let's try to fix some of these bridges to make sure that we can do some good stuff. Now let's start off with an airstrike, I think, on these people. It's kind of hoping with better odds than 1-1. How about if we use suppressive fire? Then we can at least do 0-1. That's better than nothing. As for these other ones, let's just keep moving closer. Don't move anywhere, you just keep moving closer as well. You too. You could move under Avignon. Now this US HQ, we could resupply that, that's always good. Nobody to use mortar pool on. So that's about it. Any bridges to fix? Nothing. Any new? We could do no, we can't do oversupply, I'm sorry. New bridges, not necessary. Now we could do 1-1 here, but I think we're not gonna do that just yet. It's gonna be thinking we want to try to no, it's alright. It's alright. Supply wise, fine here. not so much there. Now, the problem is because we haven't pushed through here yet, we actually can't place many more suppliers. So the only thing we could do is we could kind of make this one bigger. It's not going to help us though over there. So we're just going to make sure that we cover the unit that we have. So the one is actually enough. And add a couple more bridges like this to make it easier for us to move. And that's it. End the turn. No. We're going to start pushing into this direction, which is very important. 01, 02. Maybe we want to try to move towards Nemes. We could start this off. Actually, we might need an airstrike here. Yep. Let's do faint tap. Emergency supply, and we'll move, I guess, in that direction. Follow up with these guys like that. We'll move the US HQ towards Grenoble, so it's really close to the guys over there. You try an airstrike, sure. 1-1. They'll go on Nimes, that's great. We'll push forward with these guys, and like that. Resupply. And not much to do. We'll add a bridge here just in case they choose to destroy it, and we'll end our turn. Now, I didn't realize when I placed this, actually this HQ was a bad placement. I didn't realize that we would lose the supply there. So, but that's alright, because now we can actually place a supply up here. So this is going to be definitely in supply for next turn. I'm going to try to move our tanks a little bit closer. So here we could use, we can't really move to here. Yeah, we'll just wait out. Next time we can take that pretty easily. Go to here, do that. But yeah, that HQ placement was a slight mistake, but it's fine. Not the end of the world. That. And go like this. I think I supplied here. Here we could use a supply hub, so sure. And here we're well supplied. Good. Also, this HQ could move closer. Alright. Final turn for Lyon. Alright, so that was pretty good for us. Still, we should have been able to kill the tank anyway. Between these two tanks and this could probably get there as well, movement-wise. So, yeah. We'll start this off with, let's go with this in there. We'll start this off with the 1-1 over here. Okay, that was easy. Airstrike on the big tank here. And what we need to do is we need to destroy this PZD, which is this tank here. I don't really use any abilities, which is a little sad, but... Can you use your ability? Oh, we can use some 1-1 hits. 0-3, perfect, because it's cornered. And it's destroyed. Now we have finished all the objectives at this point. So let me just kind of finish them off a little bit. And I think that's every enemy unit that we have. Just check if there are any more enemy units that we could kill, but we could move on to the HQ too. That's pretty cool. Haha. Just unsupplied for no reason. Yeah. So that is it. So essentially, like, the idea is you need to hurry towards Grenoble, and then when it comes to Lyon, you want to make sure that you eventually move your US HQ close enough. It will take a little while before you can properly supply yourself, so that's why the HQ needs to be in range of the tank so you can use the emergency supply ability. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, write down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!